Hi, this is Pastor Gary, and this is a leadership moment. And I'm coming to you again in the second segment from Mirror Lake in Twin Crags in North Idaho. Beautiful, beautiful place. In the last segment, my friend Dave Burton gave you a panoramic view of this gorgeous place. I really believe that if Jesus would have been in North Idaho instead of Galilee, he definitely would have brought his disciples to places like this. Because, as we've said earlier, step one in Jesus' strategy, it was to remove them from the world. Follow me, leave where you live, and come live with me. Big statement. Secondly, is that the disciples walked with Jesus everywhere he went, and they observed what he did and they observed what he said. He showed them what a life completely yielded to God that God is working through looks like. Thirdly, he did debriefings. In the evenings, he would sit down with them and say, okay, guys, what did you see? What did you learn? And then number 4 was he would send them out on practice runs. Now we left, and that's in Luke chapter 10. We left that because I wanted to take a minute and talk a little bit about how do we biblically educate our children. I truly believe that we are basically sending our little children out among wolves, expecting them to be evangelists, when the overwhelming majority of the time, not only are they not evangelists, but they're being eaten alive by the wolves. You know, let's look at fishing for a second. You know, we call evangelism fishing for men. You know, if I go fishing, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to come back home. I'm going to survive the trip unless something just really crazy happens. Why? Because when I'm fishing for fish, I'm the superior species. You know, the fish I'm fishing for are under me on the food chain and in the creation of God. When we send young Christian youth out into the world prematurely before they're ready, we're sending them out. They are going out among the same species. Matter of fact, I would say they are guppies going out in the world full of sharks. And we're wondering why we're losing so many of our youth. Jesus, get this, Jesus didn't even send grown men out by themselves. He didn't just send grown men willy-nilly out into the world saying, son, put you on the bus, see you in about 8 hours. No. Jesus sent these grown men off with other grown men and said, yes, the harvest of wheat is white unto harvest, but he also warned them that I'm sending you out as sheep among wolves. Just understand this. Jesus' leadership model, he lost Judas, and we can talk about that, but I think he was replaced by the Apostle Paul. But Jesus was so successful because he knew how to incrementally send his disciples off. Come, follow me. Watch me. Let's debrief. Now let's send you out on some practice runs for a little while, and then you come back and report. Do you see how Jesus methodically led these disciples to become leaders? Now we go to step 5 of Jesus' leadership methodology, and it's found in John chapter 17, 6 through 19. John 17. Those of you that maybe have read the book of John, it's my favorite gospel, is that this is where Jesus is praying his priestly prayer. I call it the Lord's Prayer. I call what we typically call the Lord's Prayer, the model prayer, and I call this the Lord's Prayer. Now in this prayer, Jesus prays first he prays for himself, but then secondly he prays for his disciples. And that starts in verse 6. And I want to just kind of read a few of these verses, and I want you to see that now Jesus is feeling comfortable after 3 years of training. He's ready to go and leave them, and he knows they'll be successful. Starting in verse 6, I have revealed you, he's saying to God, to whom you have given me out of the world. They are yours. You gave them to me, and now they have obeyed your word. Verse 7, now they know that everything you have given me comes from you. They know everything now, God. They're ready. For I gave them the word you gave me, and they have accepted them. I'm going to skip down to verse 11. I will remain in the world no longer, but they are still in the world, and I am coming to you. Verse 14. I have given them your word, and the world has hated them, for they are not of the world any more than I am of the world. My prayer is not that you take them out of the world, but that you protect them from the evil one. They are not of the world, even as I am not of it. Sanctify them by the truth. Your word is truth. As you sent me into the world, I have sent them into the world. For them I sanctify myself, that they too may be sanctified. Level 5 is launch. Jesus was ready. The disciples were ready. It was time to move. Now in Acts chapter 2, we see what the launch looked like. But right now we're looking at Jesus' leadership model. 1, he follow me. Come out of the world into my world so I can lead you how to lead back in the world one day. 2, observe. 3, debrief. 4, take practice runs. 5, launch. We're going to be making a lot of applications to this in future lessons, but for now, just let me leave you with my closing line. I believe that God can bring America back through us. Do you believe? God bless you, and goodbye from Mirror Lake and beautiful Twin Crags, North Idaho.